Hello class, today we are going to be talking about bar graphs. Before we can actually know what a bar graph is, we have to know the components of a bar graph. So here I have a bar graph. It's about favorite cereal. And the first component of a bar graph is the title. So like I said, the title here is favorite cereal. The next part is the scale. Now the scale tells us how much, okay? So a scale can go up by 2s, it can go up by 5s, 10s, whatever you want. This scale goes up by 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. The next part is the label. The scale tells us how much of something. In this case, it tells us the number of votes that a cereal got, which brings us to our next label, which is type of cereal. This label also leads into our final component, which are the options. Options are what I would give people if I were asking them a question. So in this case, my question would be, what is your favorite cereal out of Corn Flakes, Cheerios, Life, or Kix? Now, why exactly are bar graphs important? They're important because they tell us information quickly. So, we need to find out how to make one. First, we need data. Now you may be asking, what is data? Well, Detective Monkey is here to tell us data is the numbers you get when you ask people your question, like I just talked about. Then we need to label the sides and the title. So I have an example here. This is a tally chart. This is our data, okay? You could leave it like this, but we're talking about bar graphs today, so we're gonna make it a bar graph. So if I had to title this, I could title it Favorite Foods. Then one side of my bar graph would be number of votes, so that would be with my scale. The other side would be my options, which would be pizza, burger, pasta, and hot dogs. So now we have to figure out our scale. And looking at the data we have to figure out which number we need to use that is the highest. So in this case, pizza got the most votes with 11. So our scale at least has to go up to 11. Now we can make it a scale that counts by 1s, or we can make it a scale that counts by 2s up to 12. That's up to you, it doesn't matter which. Then we need to mark our options. So like I said, pizza, burger, pasta, and hot dog would all go down at the bottom. And finally, we need to draw the bars based off of our data. Now, bar graphs aren't really much good to us unless we are able to interpret them. So here we have a bar graph. Now I'm going to ask some questions about this bar graph. First is, what sport was most students' favorite? Now, just by looking at the bar graph, I can tell that one option is much higher than all the others. So I look at this and I see that soccer is the highest amount of votes. And the number of votes is 9. It didn't ask me that, but that's how I make sure that I know it has the most amount of votes. Another question that could be asked is, how many more students like basketball than softball? So what I need to do is look down here at my options, and I see here's softball and here's basketball. So it looks like basketball has 6 votes, and then softball has 4 votes. So what I need to do to find out how many more is subtract. So I'll take 6 votes minus 4 votes, and I get 2. So 2 more students like basketball than softball.